I hope this works. Live on my computer, and even though all of my settings said we were good to go, I wasn't able to use my microphone in any way. So I couldn't use my microphone, but it looked like the video was working. I was able to chat with you guys, and I said I would come back on my phone. So I'll wait for you guys to hop in the chat. Please let me know if you're able to hear me. And then we're going to kick through some information high level. Again, this is not a conspiracy theory in any way. This is just true data as far as we can tell as humans in America in 2022. And what I mean by that is all of this information that we're going to talk about is coming from a sitting member of Congress on the House Oversight Committee. So like I'm going to use an awesome member of Congress's words to educate you guys on something that's going on here in the United States that's affecting every one of you and me right now in this exact instant through this exact stream. And we're going to talk about, maybe putting a mirror back on some of the folks. So, all right. Carly Sparks says she can hear me. Thank you for your email, Carly Sparks. Always great to hear from you. Sherry's in the house. Cool. Looks like Debbie is here and Wanda. Mel, hey, what's up? And come on, let me say hello to everybody, right? Eric and Doris, always good to see you guys. Love you guys, right? Jackie, always back in the house. Thank you. Laura, Jan, hello, everybody. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here so much. We're getting ready to kick this one off. I usually don't really like to do this, but if you do know of anybody who you might be able to bring into the chat, this is one that you're going to want to hear live. It most likely will be taken down because of how impactful what I'm about to say is. The impact that this is having on the United States of America. I'm going to outline just data. I'm just going to give you the data that I've observed and collected. I'm going to let you guys conduct some analysis and help inform my thinking. And I'm going to give you a little bit of analysis based on what I'm looking at. And then I'm also going to I'm going to show you behind the scenes on me a little bit. All right. I'm going to tell you about where my perspective comes from the policy, public policy and policy writing in the United States of America. I'll tell you a little bit about where that comes from. There's some things I cannot talk about and won't, but there are some things that I certainly can talk about because they're public, So that's what we're going to do today. If you know anybody who you can bring into the chat, or if you want to screen record this one, this is going to be a big one. You already saw, for whatever reason, my microphone didn't work. Right before that, I'd spent about 15 minutes setting the whole stream up, and making sure I had like lighting and notes and whatever. And my whole screen went black, and all I could see was the pointer on the screen. The whole screen went black and just the pointer. And then it came back up with YouTube, and I was like, oh, that was me. That was me getting hacked. That was me losing my ability to control what's going on my own YouTube channel. Your ability to control what goes on your Facebook channels, through your Google accounts. And we're going to talk about all of that today. But first, I want to give you an outline of the Department of Homeland Security. Does anybody know? Can anybody maybe list for me? Because I know you guys are smart. You visionaries are brilliant. But there have been changes in the last few years. So hopefully this is as informative and educational as it is impactful. Can anybody tell me? Go to Rumble. I'm thinking about it, Carly Sparks. I'm thinking about leaving YouTube. I had to send emails to YouTube and be like, hey, tell me the exact word or phrase I used that made you take my video down or made you take away monetization. And they couldn't respond. So I went back and forth multiple times. And I said, even before I got the information I'm going to give you today, I said, hey, if you can't tell me the exact phrase that I used, if you can't tell me what triggered your human written algorithm software, or if you can't tell me why a human being went in and clicked off, the growth of my show, that's ridiculous, right? You're telling me no one at Google knows why the algorithm caught it or why a person did it. You have to tell me why you're taking my videos down. And they said, no, we don't share that information. And I was like, well, it makes me think that you're just blanket supporting, the political party that's against the one that I'm supporting, right? I'm supporting a more conservative perspective. My videos are getting taken down. I used to have 25,000 views. Now I have like 1,000 on some of the videos. So it's a little bit strange, even if you guys are upset that I had to go in the woods for a little while. It's, very, very low, right? And they don't share at the same rate. And people tell me they don't get notifications, even when they have notifications turned on, So it's like more than 8,000 subscribers and like only 1,000 want to look at a video. Why? Ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. This comes from a congressman, James Comer, from Kentucky. He's a Republican in Kentucky's 1st District. We're going to talk about him. But first, I want to talk about Department of Homeland Security. Who can tell me an agency or entity that reports to the Department of Homeland Security? Can anybody name one? Here's your first quiz, guys. And I know we haven't talked about it a lot, but I know you are plugged in politically here in the United States and, around the world. Maybe you've studied this. I know we have viewers from all different countries, but can anybody tell me one group that is a part of the Department of Homeland Security, which is overseen by a presidential appointed secretary? In this case, his name is Mayorkas. Secretary, I think it's Alejandro Mayorkas. DOD. So DOD is different. DOD does not report to Homeland Security. FBI does not report to Department of Homeland Security. Good guess, guys. Good guess. No. ICE, yes. ICE does report to them. All right. Good. CIA does not report to them. No, thank God. No. Border Patrol, yes. NSA, no. Some of the big ones, I think there are about 22 entities. Check me. I think there are about 22. And the big ones that you're going to recognize, good job, visionaries. Hey, and to the people who maybe guessed one that wasn't part of what they supervised, good job. FEMA, good, correct. Bucky, exactly right. Really good job, like being brave enough to put a guess in the chat, like brave enough and comfortable enough in this environment, in this community, to put your answer in the chat. Good job. You can always feel safe and comfortable here. Safe and comfortable as we can, these days leading up to this vote. TSA, good job, Big Smokey. You crushed it, buddy. So U.S. Coast Guard. The Coast Guard is part of Department of Homeland Security, okay? Customs and Border Protection. Listen to the border and immigration ones. Customs and Border Protection. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, okay? There are 2 or 3 other immigration-related ones. FEMA, CISA. We're going to talk about CISA a lot today. And ironically, I helped get it created. I'm going to tell you about this. If you want to Google it, there's something called the Atlantic Council. And that's like a think tank in Washington, D.C. They focus on defense and international issues, and they're like a think tank. And I basically floated this idea. I didn't say do what they're doing now, but I said we have to have a group that's like helping Americans get better at technology and that's helping keep our infrastructure safe, so we're not getting hacked, like helping protect American businesses and American citizens and, getting newer routers, doing like a router trade-in exchange program so people don't break the bank. That's kind of how I thought about it. I'm going to tell you what they're doing now. In addition to CISA, which is the Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency. Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency. All right, these are the ones we're going to talk about today. All right. The U.S. Secret Service reports into Department of Homeland Security. U.S. Secret Service. So this is really close to Biden, right? U.S. Secret Service. Transportation Security Administration, TSA, when you fly. Okay, so everything at the borders, right? The Coast Guard, right around our borders, everything that has to do with immigration, everything that has to do with protecting the president, protecting our money, right? Protecting our domestic and international airline travel here in the United States. That's really what's going on, okay? IRS, CDC, I see those in the chat. Those are separate. Capitol Police. I think it's separate. I think it's like separate, but rolls up to Pelosi, basically. But I heard Pelosi's going to quit. So, and I heard her daughter is going to try to get her job. But I heard Pelosi's going to quit, which is great. Pelosi quits. Biden gets impeached. Oh, man. Then we have to impeach Mayorkas. We're going to work our way up to that, though, guys. I want to stay. Oh, we're going to talk about drug numbers. We're going to talk about human traffickers. We are absolutely going to talk about what Department of Homeland Security is causing through their ineptitude from a policy writing and implementation perspective. The policies that are being written and selected and the implementation of those policies is absolutely horrible. The Border Patrol agents on the ground are definitely not getting the support they need. But let's work our way up to it, right? So that's who's part of the Department of Homeland Security. Are you guys tracking with me so far? Okay. Here's your quiz. I want to know if you're tracking. I'm going to look in the chat, okay? Oh, Pelosi's going to quit. Don't worry. She gone. She gone. There was a new report. Did you guys hear what happened? I'm just going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come into this. We're going to take a quick Pelosi break. Did you hear what happened? Did you hear that NBC put out, like, I think it was NBC, check me, they released a report from the police, and then they retracted it immediately because Pelosi was coming down on the police for not taking enough effort. And so my sources in law enforcement said the police were like, screw that. That's not what happened. We're going to tell you what happened. And the police said that it was Paul Pelosi that opened the door so the police could come in. He never told them he had an emergency. He never said he needed help. In fact, he did the opposite, and he walked back towards his attacker. So he must have known the guy. He must have been comfortable with the guy. Hell, he's standing there with him in his underwear. The police come into the house, and he doesn't say, I need your help. There's a guy with a hammer attacking me. I've never met this guy. Get him. Get him. I live here. Get that man. That's what I would have said. Get that ball. I would have said, go scrape that thing off the floor. You know, it came into my house and threatened me with a hammer. You know, go peel him off the floor. It's probably what I would have said. But no, I would have gone to the police if I was in danger and said, please help me. There's someone in my house. There's someone in my house with a hammer in the middle of the night, and I called the police. And now the police are here, and what does he do? He looks at him, doesn't say he needs help, doesn't say he has an emergency. He walks back to his attacker. The attacker says everything is fine or everything's cool or something like that, and then hits him over the head with a hammer. And there's no body cam. There's no body cam video anywhere of any of this. Come on. That's who you're protecting? That's what you guys are protecting? It smells. I can smell this from here. I'm just saying. Oh, Paul said his name on the 911 call. I haven't heard the 911 call yet. I'd like all the 911 calls to be released, and I'd like all the body cam to be released. And I want to know if maybe he had another phone and, come on. What was going on? Tell us. Yeah, something was going on. They knew each other, and I wonder if Pelosi knew that all this was going on. It reminds me of that TV show House of Cards, where the really powerful political couple just did whatever they wanted sexually, but stayed together for appearances and images. Okay. All I know is that Pelosi's done a horrible job. Everybody knows that. It was an illegal immigrant that did it. The Democrats have done such a terrible job with illegal immigration. It's led to so much crime. And that policy really came back to hammer down on her, personally, I would say. She's done a terrible job. It's too bad that the dude got hit in the head with a hammer. It's bad. But that's how America kind of has done it forever, right? People get upset and things escalate and policies change. It's very unfortunate, but it's an historical reality, right? Okay, cool. So, Violet the Lazy Texan, what's up? Did you ever end up dating Bob? Never mind. We don't have to talk about that. Hey, I want to get into it because I do have some notes. I have some direct quotations, some quotes and notes, and I want to make sure I go over that with you guys. This is a really important video, and I know that we've talked about a couple other things. New information did come out regarding Nancy Pelosi. That's terrible. I'm going to be doing another video, two more videos you should look forward to, after the convoy, which is on the 9th. I'm going to be the lead vehicle in the convoy. I talked to Mona. We're going to come in on the 8th. I'm going to be riding in with my buddies Terry and Mary Beth and Bruce. And if you want a convoy with us, actually, you're more than welcome to meet me. You can meet me on Sunday. Or no, not on Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday. Is that the 8th? That's the 6th. I think we're going to leave on the 6th. I think we're going to leave Sunday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, right? So if you guys want to ride with us tomorrow afternoon, we're going to leave from the southeast corner of Missouri, and we're going to truck it west across the bottom of the state. So if anybody's interested, please send me an email, and I'll send you the address where you can meet me. and then we can all just roll out there together. The big semi truck and tractor trailer that I got to drive the other day, and I got into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th gear, we're going to call it. 7th or 8th gear, it's down in the 4 spot on an 18 speed, two gears for every one position, right? Anyway, that tractor trailer, you guys are going to love it. You're going to love it when you see it. It's a big, long step deck trailer. And then there are 12 flags all the way down, 6 and 6, all the way down the back. American flags are just going to be ripping, and that's how I'm rolling in to the convoy with my good buddy Terry, who actually gave me this shirt. This is a 9-line shirt right here, and I really love it. I don't know if you guys can see the back, but Terry, I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much. Mary Beth, thank you. Awesome to see you guys. Dan, I'd love to hang out with you in Michigan. Okay. The first mission, guys, we've got to get out to Branson. Branson we're leaving tomorrow. The convoy is on the 9th. We have some veteran-related events that we're going to do before that. All right, working on some other things for you after. But we're going to talk about over $1 billion that's been given to the Taliban-run Afghanistan that, according to the Inspector General, can in no way be traced because the Department of State and other groups refuse to give any information related to where the money is gone. So you and I taxpayers have spent more than $1 billion in Afghanistan after Joe Biden did a shameful Irish goodbye, and no one can trace where that money has gone. Where's the fucking money, Joe? Pardon my language, but where's the money? What did it go to? It's infuriating. So that'll be a whole separate video. The convoy and Branson will be a whole separate set of videos. Where's the money? Over $1 billion in Taliban hands that you can't account for. I got questions. I have questions, right? Shameful what Biden did in America. And Department of Homeland Security, CISA, the little agent, little people watching this who aren't allowed to do the real cybersecurity work, who have to watch people on YouTube and edit political speech illegally on what's supposed to be a neutral platform. You guys are bitches. And this is who you guys are protecting. And I created your agency, so kiss my butt. You guys wouldn't have a job if I didn't pitch it to the former directors of multiple 3-letter agencies. And you guys know it. I was a national semifinalist at the Atlantic Council Defense Policy Writing Competition. And I told you had to create this agency. And then after that, you changed the name. I wanted to call it TECH, the Technology Enhancement Commission, because it's cool tech for tech stuff. And they changed it to CISA, all right? And it's supposed to just provide cybersecurity for American infrastructure, businesses, right? To protect you from nation states and, whatever, silly bear hackers or whatever they're called, you know what I mean? To protect you from that. But they've gone a lot farther, just like East Germany, where they're now controlling our speech on what's supposed to be a neutral platform. And what I mean by that, I'm going to jump into it right now, okay? What I mean by that is coming from Republican Congressman, Representative James Comer, and the U.S. House Oversight Committee. The House Oversight Committee and the White Hats on the back end, right, on the tech back end and the different agencies, they're coming to our rescue right now. They're going to come and help us as soon as we win this election with this big red wave. Not only are people going to face investigations, they could face impeachment, possibly. We're going to see a lot of turnover, a lot of turnover from a policy and a personnel perspective as soon as you all go out and vote Republican. Please go out and vote Republican. I don't care who you vote for, as long as they're a Republican. Okay. House Oversight Committee, right? I'm talking about Congressman Comer for 1st District of Kentucky. He's a Republican. Okay. He says that he sent a letter to Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the secretary, the guy in charge of Secret Service, Border Patrol, ICE, the Coast Guard, the guy who's in charge of FEMA, the guy who's in charge of CISA. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, CISA. You've got to know about that, all right? The guy who's in charge of all of this shit, Mayorkas, the guy who's in charge of everything, right? He gets a letter from this congressman, Mr. Comer, sends him a letter, okay? And the letter says, quote, I love it. I love this guy. I've never met him. And I didn't know much about him until I started reading about this. And in fact, I liked it so much, I sent him an email and I just said, really good job. Thanks for being one of the the good guys who are actually standing up for Americans and for our constitutionally protected freedoms. And I mean that, right? So Congressman Comer sends a letter to Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. This is what the letter says. He says there's been a, quote, extensive censorship campaign originating within the Department of Homeland Security, CISA, right? Specifically, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, right? CISA is framing any dissenting opinion, and dissenting just means like against, right? So CISA is framing any dissenting opinion that's disseminated online, put out online, as a cyber threat to critical infrastructure. So when we're online talking about supporting candidates who might be MAGA Republican candidates, people who Joe Biden appointed and who those people hired, then come online through a back-end portal, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but Facebook and Google and Instagram, they have back-end portals for their government partners who can then flag any content at all that they think is undesirable for the Biden administration and woke policies, right? I've never threatened violence on any of my channels, right? I've never advocated for anything like that. I've always said I'm peaceful and nonviolent, and I look to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. But my videos are taken down and blocked over and over and over again, right? It's just political free speech, right? These social media companies are not allowed to be sued. They're protected from lawsuits because they say they're a neutral platform. Maybe it's time to start treating them like publishing companies and not like neutral platforms. Because if they're neutral, I should be able to pursue happiness protected by the Constitution through my First Amendment freedom of speech. Through my First Amendment freedom of speech. I've read the Constitution cover to cover many, many times. And I'll tell you what, nowhere in it does it say a damn thing about the Department of Education. That's an unconstitutional department. We'll talk about that later, and how they're indoctrinating children into radical woke ideology, which is polluting the essence of America and the estuarial environment in which we need to be raising our children so we can be in better socioeconomic positioning, global positioning, right? Just do better, dudes. It's in here, First Amendment. I should be able to say whatever I want as long as I'm not threatening someone, right? And frankly, how do you know what I'm saying, right? Is or isn't true, you little lemming minion back here on the back end of this computer blocking us? Get out of town. Get out of town. Or show up and like, let's just like have a beer. You can have a sparkling water and I'll just have a beer and we'll talk about it. Let's just talk about it in the English language. That's what we're doing now. Discourse. All right, here we go. We're going to keep going. I'm glad you guys are liking this. Thanks, Tim Beers. Hey, you've got the right name. You can come along. And I know you've been a supporter of the channel for a while, so thanks, Tim. All right, so this is what Congressman Comer said, right? He said there's been extensive censorship campaign originating within the Department of Homeland Security, right? Within their group called CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which has now overstepped its boundaries, right? I did not imagine that agency, and I know I'm not the only guy, right? But I was one of the first ones, and it is documented. And right, I could show you the document, and we could just read it, right? When I pitched the director of national intelligence on this, and I was a national semifinalist. I beat you can look it up, Atlantic Council Defense Policy Writing Competition. I beat people from the service academies with no support from my university, and we did it as adult students, veterans. We just walked in and said, you guys are doing such a shit job. We can go get drunk at a local college bar, do your job better than you, and then shove it down your throats, and you'll do it. And it worked. Like over and over and over and over and over. But we don't have to talk about that. Anyway, now White Claw's fine. You drink those White Claws if you're into it, as long as you're 21 and you think about managing your sugar and all that. Anyway, that's what Congressman Comer said. He additionally said that CISA, who I've told you about, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA is framing any dissenting opinions disseminated online as a cyber threat to America's critical infrastructure. CISA leverages partnerships. This is what Congressman Comer went on to say in the letter, and the Oversight Committee. All right, the Oversight Committee in Congress. All right, anyway. CISA leverages partnerships with left-leaning private organizations, CISA leverages their partnerships with left-leaning, right, liberal, private organizations. So the government is going to private, public goes to private, right? Government is going to private organizations who have received millions of dollars in federal money. They've received millions of dollars in federal money, and they've gone to them to identify and then take action against unfavorable political speech, especially related to the Biden administration's policies related to COVID-19. I'm going to say this again. This is serious. A congressman sent this letter to the head of Coast Guard, Border Patrol, Secret Service, FEMA, CISA, TSA, and a bunch of other groups. This guy, he was so pissed off, and he said, you know what? They're going to come at me hard. He was like, if I mess with the intelligence community, they can mess with me in 1,000 ways. Right? They're more powerful. They have more access to information. They're better. They don't care about the rules. They don't have rules. They have a lot of power. How are you going to win? Right? And I know he knows that. He's a smart guy. So the fact that he'll still step forward and stand up and hold the flag, you know what I mean? Hold that flag, plant it in the earth, and have us rush to his standard is a big deal. And I want to be one of the first patriots rushing up behind Congressman Comer and the American flag that he's planted to make a stand against these corrupt individuals. And I want to just rush up there and respectfully stand behind the gentleman and support him, you know, in a peaceful and nonviolent way. But I'm going to use that First Amendment, even as they try to take it from me. Okay, if you're having a good time, smash the like button. Or better yet, tell somebody that we're doing this stream right now, because there's a good chance it's going to get taken down. There's a good chance it's going to get slowed down algorithmically. The algorithms will slow it down so it doesn't get shared. So if you can maybe tell somebody about it or screen record it, this might be your only chance to see this video. Who knows what will happen once we're not live anymore? You know, who knows? We saw what happened in DC. We saw how all of my belongings were stolen. My property was ransacked and destroyed. You saw how the truck was destroyed, more than $10,000, right, in damage. You saw how I told you about how the oil mysteriously came out of my vehicle as I was driving down the road. How does that happen? Like, you've got to really unscrew that oil drain plug to get it out. And somehow, as I'm driving, it just came out, which could have seized up the engine and caused me to die. Additionally, when they had my vehicle, they had left two big exposed wires as big as my thumb under the seat, not taped off. They pulled them out of my amp, stole the amp to my stereo system. Someone did while I was there, because it's not there. And the wires are there. And the wires run right to the battery, and they were sitting on very flammable material. I could have gone up in flames. Additionally, someone took off part of my track bar, which that's what was wrong. I got the death wobble fixed. Somebody had pulled off part of the track bar. So when I hit a bump, it wasn't damaged, but it was just off, and it started shaking. How does your track bar come off, causing a uncontrollable shaking, which could cause you to wreck when you spend a lot of time on the highway? I'm not saying that they're after me. I'm just saying these things have literally happened. So it's a lot of coincidence in a short period of time after I pissed off the president and a bunch of liberal political officials and a very corrupt, very powerful group here at home, right? But just like Congressman Comer, I'm going to stand up and be a man, be an American. Let me say an American, because women are very, very strong and motivational. And it's the mama bears who have really led this We the People movement. Everybody knows that. Anybody who's ever been to Missouri, right, knows that. Anybody who's going to the Convoy on the 9th knows that. 10-4. It's a big 10-4, I think. All right, let me continue with the direct quotes from the letter. All right, I'm just going to go back and I'll run it through. An extensive censorship campaign originating within Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency is framing and dissenting any opinion disseminated online as a cyber threat to critical infrastructure. CISA leverages partnerships with left-leaning private organizations who have received millions of dollars in federal money to identify and take action against unfavorable political speech, especially related to the Biden administration's policies related to COVID-19. Okay? Please allow me to continue. He also says the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has a responsibility to protect the American people. 10-4. Yes, you do. And I also worked for FEMA. I worked with you guys, right? I had 36 volunteers on the Isolated Communities Task Force after the hurricane trying to help you do your job when the FEMA warehouses were empty, right? I was the one in the backcountry teaching them how to process their water, right? And helping them. And it was United States Army soldiers who were there doing the work too. You know, FEMA wasn't there. The Army was there. And if you want to talk about some of the good generals getting blocked by Biden, look at the 3-star general who got approved by every single person, including the Secretary of Defense, who Biden blocked because he refused to immediately send troops without a plan on January 6th. This general said, I need to make a plan. I'm not denying your request for troops. I need to make a plan. Well, now he's up for his 4th star. Biden said, screw you. I'm drumming you out of the Army. You don't think that's true? Look it up. DOD are good. All right. You need to trust in the Army. You need to trust in the Marine Corps, right? You need to trust in the Navy, right? All right. Even the Air Force and the Space Force, you guys have really cool technology. We want to trust you. You just have crazy cool technology. And I keep seeing Chinese rockets blow up. So I trusted the Space Force. Maybe it was a coincidence, but I watched a Chinese rocket crash. I thought that was cool. All right. Anyway, the letter goes on to say the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has a responsibility to protect the American people, not deliberately target and discredit Americans opposed to the Biden administration's radical agenda. Oh, they're good writers. Hats off. I mean, literally, my Marine Corps hat is off to the staffers and to the elected officials who wrote this. Good job. Really good job. Okay, so this is what Republican Congressman Comer wrote to the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. That's what I'm reading to you. These aren't my words. These are the words from a congressman on the House Oversight Committee smashing Department of Homeland Security for blatantly illegal, unethical, immoral, un-American, East German behavior. Argue against it. Argue against it. And I don't want you guys, really, like I don't want you to keep making my life terrible. I don't want you guys to whack me. But we have to get this information out to the people. And if you guys are doing the wrong thing and it's costing American lives, as I'm going to talk about later, like at the border with the fentanyl deaths from refusing to plug up the border, right? You're causing deaths, 100,000 deaths last year from fentanyl because of you, because you refuse to block the border, because you want to support President Biden. But I'll get to that in a minute, you filthy. Excuse me. So many of you, I'm sure, do a good job. I want to take a moment right now to honor and respect any white hat in any executive agency or in the military or even in a corporation. Someone who I call a white hat is someone who stands up for what's morally Judeo-Christian, morally appropriate, ethically appropriate, right? Same standard of ethics. When we apply multiple lenses to our analysis, does it increase or decrease the propensity for rebellion, right? We need better freaking policy writing, more thinking, better policy writing. So many of you do a good job, and I understand you can be powerless in some situations because some folks who are in those decision-making roles that have played the game very, very well and insulated themselves very, very well. But please continue to stand up, be brave. There are people behind you. We honor you, we respect you, white hats, and more than ever, we need your help. We need your help going into this election, and especially kind of coming down the hill out of this election, all right? So the letter from the House Oversight Committee, written by James Comer from Kentucky, right, the congressman, going to the Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas of the Department of Homeland Security, went on to say this: any operation by the department to stifle Americans' free speech is unacceptable. It's an abuse of taxpayer dollars, and it warrants an immediate congressional investigation. It warrants a lot more than that, but yes, we start with the investigation and then we hold them accountable. Accountability, you hear me? You're going to be held accountable for what you're doing online, trying to stifle free speech in America. You're going to be held accountable, right? Either by humans or by your God. You will be held accountable for your unethical behavior and for the hundreds of millions of people, of souls that it impacts. All right, I'm talking to the corrupt people at CISA and Department of Homeland Security when I say that. You'll be held accountable by your countrymen or by your God, one way or another, right? And you know it. You know it. Who or what is a white hat from Tupelo? A white hat is anyone who is trying to do the right thing for others, right? Who sees a negative choice and a positive choice, can make the discernment. And even when it's the wrong or tough or hard, not wrong, even when it's the tough, difficult, unfavorable thing to do, they'll still do the right thing. Being a white hat is aligned with having a high level of integrity. And those people work for the same groups as people who would tear down our freedoms, right? My point is to differentiate amongst government employees. They're not all bad. Some are good, some are bad. Some are good, some are bad, right? The white hats are the good guys and girls, men and women who are helping, trying to help the We the People movement, trying to help American freedoms, right? Standing up for freedom in America. Those are white hats. I hope that makes sense to you. Cool. All right. Sylvia, what's up? Thank you for helping in the courthouse with voting. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in Missouri. I know you've talked to Steve about riding with him. Right now, I may or may not have a front seat open in the front vehicle of the convoy. So again, if you guys want to convoy with me out there, we're going to leave tomorrow afternoon. We're going to set up at the campground out there. It's going to be wonderful. Talk to Mona, talk to Joe Nagy, been talking with Terry, talking with Bruce. A lot of people are going to be out there. Trench is going to be out there running parking for everybody. Soup Mom is already out there. She's cooking for everybody, you know, so I think just everybody's going to be out there and from all the different convoys and freedom movements. And I really want us all to look at this as a peaceful, nonviolent, no drama opportunity to just have a great time together, to stand up for freedom and to celebrate the red wave of victory that's coming on November 8th. So please, please, please make sure you vote on 8th. And please, please, please make sure that you vote Republican so we can block out some of this corruption that's happening with this very liberal Democrat administration. Okay. Separate fight to you, brother. Thank you for saying that. Separate fight to you, right? You can always count on Marine Corps generals like General Mattis. Man, I respect General Mattis so much. I really respect General Mattis a lot. There are a lot of real good generals. I really respect General Mattis. And if you ever need a little pick me up, Google Mattis, Mattis, Mattis-isms, ISMS, and they're like little sayings that General Mattis says, and he has some great ones. You know, really great motivational sayings. All right, I want to continue back to the essence of this show today. All right, we're talking about the letter that was sent by the House Oversight Committee and Republican Congressman James Comer from the 1st District to Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Again, the Department of Homeland Security oversees the Coast Guard, Customs and Border Patrol, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, FEMA, CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency, also TSA at the airports, and the United States Secret Service, you know, and many, many others. So it's a huge job, huge deal. The person's appointed by the president, and he does whatever the president says or he loses his job, right? As one of the most powerful people in the country. I hope that makes sense to you. So this person, Alejandro Mayorkas, is making really bad decisions, and he knows he's making bad decisions, refusing to help his people and refusing to help his countrymen, right? Only to keep his job. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a real piece of shit because he doesn't have any integrity and he refuses to stand up for what's right when he's just looking at the evidence and the data. And if he's never seen the evidence or the data, I'm going to help present it to him right now based on his own agency's numbers. In fact, the Border Patrol kind of blackmailed him and they were like, listen, either you put out the numbers on how many people have come in the last fiscal year, or we're going to put out the numbers on Monday. They put it to him. They were like, listen, you're done screwing us over. You're going to put the numbers out or we're going to put the numbers out. And man, I respect that. I know a lot of people who have worked for Border Patrol, you know, in BORTAC. I don't know if you guys know what BORTAC is. You might want to look that up, or BORSTAR, BORSTAR. If you're, you know, young, fit, healthy, like to be outside, like to do medical stuff, into search and rescue, that kind of stuff, and you're looking for a job opportunity, maybe consider BORSTAR or BORTAC. So you can do some of that special operations work here at home, and you're doing things to help rescue and save people instead of doing other things. Anyway, the letter goes on. The letter from the House Oversight Committee, Congressman Comer, goes on to say, oversight Republicans expect Secretary Mayorkas' cooperation with congressional oversight into any online content monitoring program. Like your back-end portal access to Facebook and YouTube. that you use to freaking crush my videos, right? This is me letting you know that I know and I don't like it, and you're unethical and immoral. And you're going to face your God of the American people and be held accountable. That's my message. All right, let me continue, please. Oversight Republicans expect Secretary Mayorkas to cooperate with congressional oversight into any online content monitoring program implemented by the Department of Homeland Security to suppress Americans' free speech. So, you know the word shadow banned? Shadow banned? It's real, and this is what it is. The tech companies that lean left have given access to the government through backdoor login portals. They're allowed to flag any content that they deem to be inappropriate, and then they get shut down. And then, like, the most ridiculous video in the world gets like 8 million views. So I'm just saying, future of our country is what's on the table. And it's important that we make our bet, right? Our bets, our decisions with as much information as possible. And that we don't just like pretend when we're playing high level, policy poker like this. Okay. Aruba Dive Gal, really looking forward to seeing you in Florida in a few weeks. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You can Google it right now. You can look it up right now. They set up something called the Disinformation Governance Board. The Disinformation Governance Board. All right, and this group within CISA is and the Disinformation Governance Board, they're looking for disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. Misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And that's super subjective, right? That's like anything against what you believe. And they're allowed what they tell themselves. They're allowed to go in and just shut us down. So is that the kind of country you want to live in? Do you think you have freedom of speech? And I don't know if you know this or not, but you're not allowed to sue social media companies for information that's posted on the social media company. They're immune. They're protected, right? Because they say they're a neutral platform. Well, you're not neutral if you block one side of an argument and not the other. That's like doing this, nah, in a political debate. That's not neutral. That's biased as fuck. Pardon my language, I'm sorry. That's biased as can be. That's not neutral. You know? It's not even close to neutral. It's not even close. And didn't Google send all the Republican vote notices to spam mail? Doesn't Google own YouTube? Oh, I wonder what could have happened. Come on. You're doing this to us every day. You think we don't know? This is what shadow banning is. CISA, a Department of Homeland Security, under the Disinformation Governance Board's guidance, is able to just blanket block anything they don't like. In your America, in my America, that we fought for, that our friends are dead in the sand for. And then we give $1 billion to the Taliban and we can't account for it? Look it up. $1 billion to the Taliban and there's no accounting for it whatsoever. State Department, USAID, nobody knows where the money is. $1 billion to the freaking Taliban. Explain that. Where's the money? Where is the money? Where is my freedom? Sorry, Americans are sick of this, right? We're sick of this crap. You know, we demand better. We are better. We've created better. We can do better. We want to do better. Why can't we do better? Take your thumb off of us. Take your boot off our neck. All right. Just saying. Just saying. Smash the like button for me if you're having a good time. Share the video, please. Feel free to share it to any platform. Get the word out. Screen record this video. They're going to try to take it down. I've said enough that they're probably going to try to take it down, even though I haven't said anything that is untrue or undocumented. I've just reported on congressional action. And so we'll see if that gets taken down or demonetized. And there's a third way they can do it. They can just on the back end just whoop, crank your dial down and just say, hey, algorithm, don't share it with anybody. He can still be monetized, but we're gonna let him get like 10 to 20% of what he normally gets. So he still thinks he's doing okay, but we're just not going to tell all of his subscribers that he's put a video out. We're not going to put it out to other people either. Right? That's what you guys are doing on the back end. And Congressman Comer and his colleagues are going to smash your world for it. You're going to answer. You're going to answer for this. You're going to get fined. You're going to find hundreds of millions of dollars for what you're doing to me. I'm not going to see any of that, buddy, but you're going to have to pay it. You'll see. I'd like to see more happen with accountability, frankly, Congressman. But I'd love to also ask you what your ideas are related to that. What kind of recourse is appropriate? Is there any kind of historical precedent for this kind of corruption and manipulation of the American people? Blanket manipulation of the American people. It's like East Germany, sir. What do we do? What's appropriate? How do we fix it? How can I leverage the visionaries and all the people they know on the channel to do better? We want to be available to stand up for what's right in this country. We want to do what's ethically and morally appropriate. Right? That's who we are. That's what we do. All right. Anyway, the White House press secretary, former House press secretary Jen Psaki said, quote, "We are in regular touch with social media through members of our senior staff, especially their COVID-19 staff," she went on to say. All right. She said there was really a big issue of misinformation, especially during the pandemic. You're damn right. It was coming out of your boss's mouth, right? Like we're saying that somebody in my demographic, young, healthy, white male, doesn't have any risk of myocarditis, but now you see New England Journal of Medicine and American Medical Journal and all these other science.org and all these other websites saying that you're going to get myocarditis. It happened a lot. All the information's coming out now about your lives, but don't worry. I have better data than just that kind of stuff. Now what I'm going to do is say, so Jen Psaki said, yeah, they're doing this. We're talking to them, but there was really a lot of misinformation during the pandemic. Let me talk to you about misinformation that's come out of the White House. You want to talk about misinformation? Look in the freaking mirror, Joe Biden. All right, you suck. One of the worst presidents in American history. You're completely absent-minded. You have dementia. You talk about the wrong war. You said your son died in Iraq on 11/1/2022. You said your son died in Iraq, Joe Biden. He did not. All right, you dumbass. Your son died from cancer. All right, and even though you say that he was exposed to burn pits in Iraq and that's how he got cancer, I've got news for you. If he was an officer, he didn't go anywhere near a shit burning pit or any kind of burn pit whatsoever. And I'd be surprised if you let your son enlist, but he definitely didn't go near any kind of freaking burn pit. Just letting you know, that's ridiculous, and he died from cancer and he did not die in Iraq, and you are not a gold star dad. All right. You are someone who does stolen valor. You should be impeached for your stolen valor and your absent-mindedness, Biden. All right. What else did Biden say that was a lie recently? So that was on 11/1/2022. He said his son died in Iraq. Did not happen. His son died from cancer. Here you go on 10/27/2022. All right. On 10/27/2022, Biden said that gas was less expensive now than when he took office. Yeah, that's a lie. That's also a blatant lie. Okay. We're out of diesel and you're doing a shit job blocking all the oil companies by going towards your green policies and expecting lower gas prices before you put them out of business. That's retarded. Okay, so those are two lies from Biden. Here's a third lie from Biden that all of our truckers are going to love. Truckers, listen to this. Biden said on 11/30/2021, on 11/30/2021, Biden said he used to drive a tractor trailer. Bullshit. You couldn't even turn it on. Let alone shift the gears, Joe. What a punk. So he says he used to drive a tractor trailer. He said it on 11/30/2021. Okay. And I'm giving you like the dates so you can Google it and you can see that what I'm saying is true and it's not propaganda. These are just facts. Okay. Then Biden said gun manufacturers are the only industry in the country with lawsuit immunity. He said that on 6/2/2022. Obviously, that's not true. You can look at the companies, the pharmaceutical companies that helped create the COVID vaccines. They were also given immunity. Social media companies have immunity as well. And various government contractors do get immunity at different times for different reasons, right? Also, politics, you get a lot of immunity when you've got people coming here from overseas, right, as an ambassador, and perhaps they commit a crime or do a DUI, and we don't put them in jail because they have what's called political immunity. So you're a liar. Biden. These are just a few of your lies and the times and dates, or excuse me, the dates that you said those lies. And there are a lot of other things we could talk about, but I'm just going to hit you with those. All right. And not quite done yet, because now that I've hit Biden pretty hard with look in the mirror, I want to go over here and I want to slap Secretary Mayorkas a little bit too with some of the problems that have come out of his house. Okay. While the Department of Homeland Security is taking a conscious, progressive effort to block Americans' free speech, at the same time, they're killing Americans by allowing fentanyl into the country across a wide open, porous border. They're refusing to secure the southern border. And it's not the Border Patrol agents who refuse to secure the border. It's the Department of Homeland Security's executives who refuse to give them the permission to go and secure the border. And that's a big, big problem. Some facts related to this, okay? In the fiscal year that ended on September 30th, right? So like that whole year Biden was in charge. The fiscal year ended on 9/30. Immigration was up between 30 and 40% year over year. 2.38 million stops. Those are just the people Border Patrol talked to. And I know it's less. It's 2,378,944. So it's almost 2.38. All right, 2.38 million stops. How many people do you think got through without getting stopped? Okay. How many got through that didn't get stopped? 2.38 million in a year. Illegal immigrants were stopped. How many didn't get stopped? That's my question. Trash bags. Single adult crossings, the numbers went up by 48.1% year over year. In Del Rio, Texas, crossings were up 85.5%. In El Paso, Texas, they're up 58.7%. In Yuma, Arizona, they're up 170.9%. And I know you guys watched this, right, with Taco Joe, with First Responders Media. You could just see the open holes in the border with people walking through from the whole world. The whole world is walking in to do whatever they want in our country, to vote illegally in the states perhaps of California, Florida, and New York, where immigrants can do that if they've just spent enough time in a municipality, okay? Other jurisdictions as well, but that's where we're starting, okay? Yuma, Arizona, up 170.9%. 100,000 deaths last year from fentanyl alone, overdose deaths, deaths from fentanyl. Okay, that's coming in. The cartel is negotiating with the government of Mexico, saying, hey, if you let us go legit, we'll just stop. We'll stop all the violence. The government of Mexico is negotiating with the cartel. That's my message, okay? It's a mess. Mexico is a mess. That border is a mess. Where are the people coming from? They're coming from Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. That's the most of where they're coming from. But now every state is a border state because of all the fentanyl deaths all across the country, more than 100,000 related to this crime. Not only that, but another problem related to immigration is that Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked, hit in the head with a hammer by an illegal immigrant. And if that's not ironic, I don't know what is. It's sad, but it's also ironic, okay? Border crossings are up through the roof. Crime is coming in. Our vote is getting polluted. Our American resources like roads, bridges, sewage systems, educational systems are being overwhelmed by this massive group of immigrants, right? Our pockets are getting hit really, really hard. We give these people places to stay, free college educations. For example, in Texas, illegal immigrants used to be able to access free college education. I don't believe that's the case anymore. They used to be able to do that. America's got to get better, guys. And when we have people, hold on, somebody keeps calling and blasting my other phone. So let me just turn it off so it stops bothering me. Just some kind of way to distract me, maybe. Hang on 2 seconds. Yeah, absolutely no messaging. Just a ridiculous amount of buzzing and vibrating. So isn't that about right, guys? All right, we're just going to turn this thing off. You're more important than I am. All right, boom. Be gone. This phone's blowing up too right now. So people are watching, guys. This is what's going on. I want you to get the word out. Try to share this however you can. Representative Comer on the House Oversight Committee sent a letter to Secretary Mayorkas. I'll read one more time what he said to the head of the Department of Homeland Security. He said, extensive censorship campaign exists, which originated within the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. CISA is framing any dissenting opinion disseminated online as a cyber threat to critical infrastructure. CISA leverages partnerships with left-leaning private organizations who have received millions of dollars in federal money to identify and take action against unfavorable political speech, especially around COVID-19 policies put out by the Biden administration. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has a responsibility to protect the American people, not deliberately target and discredit Americans opposed to the Biden administration's radical agenda. Any operation by the Department of Homeland Security to stifle Americans' free speech is unacceptable. It's an abuse of taxpayer dollars, and it warrants an immediate congressional investigation. All right. Oversight Republicans expect Secretary Mayorkas's cooperation with the congressional oversight into any online content monitoring program implemented by the Department of Homeland Security to suppress Americans' free speech. All right, so look up do you hear the buzz? It's this phone now. They're just blowing this phone up. And Department of Homeland Security has this phone number because it was Elisa Moore, that fake detective who stole my truck. Her phone number is on a Department of Homeland Security phone number list. So they've definitely got my number. I'll see what's going on after. Maybe it's a bunch of fun emails from you. You know what I mean? Maybe you guys are donating to my channel, right? So I can get to Branson and run the convoy and keep standing up for freedom. I'm 100% viewer funded. If you want to support me, online X-Ray Convoy at Cash App and Venmo. I think I have Cash App and Venmo. X-Ray Convoy, if you could help support the channel. It helps get the truth out, and it helps me get around the country. I'm going to be starting to meet with some senior executives and sheriffs and elected political officials to bring more credibility and information to you guys at home that you'll be able to share with people feeling comfortable. Okay? If you do want to support me, please do that. Not through YouTube, you can, but they take a big chunk and it takes a while to access that. If you want to support my channel, please donate to X-Ray Convoy at Cash App or Venmo. That'll be it for the ad. Thank you very much. What did Kash Patel say to me? That's what somebody was asking right here. Let me pull it up. How did you know I talked to Kash Patel? K is saying that. So K, yes, I did have a meeting with Kash Patel. I met with him at the Reawaken America tour. He was a gentleman. He took some time to speak with me candidly. And I'm going to keep a lot of it private, but some of what I said, I know I did tell you. So, because it was a big deal for me. It was really cool to have that conversation. And I asked him, I said, hey, sir, what's the best way to connect these disparate, these spread out, separated groups of patriots who care and who want to do better, but who just have an excuse, right? Or they've seen things happen and they're afraid, of what to do to get involved. How do we bring people together? And he gave me some good ideas, and the first one was just, hey, keep getting the word out and keep showing up and keep bringing people together, and just go to these events together. So you hear all the buzzing. My phone never blows up this much. Somebody's excited this morning. I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, if you can support me, I do get the total on Cash App, and that's huge. Same with Venmo. Really appreciate you guys. If there's anything you can do to support me, that's great. If not, that's cool too, right? Doing okay, doing my best, trying to keep working, keep bringing money in so we can keep doing the channel. Okay. That's it though. That's it on the advertisement. I don't want to make the channel like always about that, right? But do know that I am 100% viewer funded. That's how I operate. Anyway, it goes on to say that any operation by the Department of Homeland Security to stifle Americans' free speech is unacceptable. It's an abuse of taxpayer dollars, and it warrants immediate congressional investigation. Congressman Comer said that oversight Republicans expect Secretary Mayorkas to cooperate with the congressional oversight into any online content monitoring program implemented by the Department of Homeland Security to suppress Americans' free speech. So that's it. All right, that's it. People appointed by President Biden to one of the most powerful positions in the land that oversees multiple federal agencies is raping you of your freedom of speech, raping me of my freedom of speech and our ability to communicate that it's appropriate to vote for conservative candidates in our elections. Isn't that crap? That's crazy, right? That's crazy that this is happening in America, guys. Like in America, in our America, this is happening. I don't know. I mean, I feel heartbroken. I'm upset. I'm angry, but I'm sad. Anger and sadness often go together, right? Cycles. So I'm upset. I'm sad that this is the country that my brothers, my friends died for. Right? They died in the sand for your freedom, for my freedom, for my freedoms that are getting trampled and combined and cut up and eroded by the people who are entrusted to protect them. We, the people, are furious that this is our American reality, and we're going to vote you out. And after we vote you out, the people who we vote in, we expect them to hold you accountable. That's what I have to say to you, you corrupt elected and appointed officials. We're voting you out. It's over. You gone for a decade, at least. You gone. All right, we're going to vote you out here in these upcoming elections, at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level, right? You gone. You gone. We're going to vote you out. All right, then we're going to start impeaching groups. We're going to investigate groups. We're going to impeach groups. And we're going to bring the power of the government to bear against the cowards, the gutless, moralless cowards who have allowed this to happen. You're going to answer to other Americans or to your God, to your countrymen or to your God. You're going to answer up, and there's going to be accountability. What do you think, visionaries? Do you think that these people should be held accountable? And if so, how should they be held accountable? Tell me that. How should they be held accountable? Tell me that. Mountain Granny says we are fighting the ongoing cabal. That's right. That's right. Mountain Granny, I'm going to add you back. I just have to do it after the show. Okay, thank you. Really appreciate you always being in here. And I'm not just, this isn't just Trump, right? This is just anti-Biden. This is just no more Biden, no more people who support Biden. No. You gone. You hear that phone going just the whole time. It never does that. So somebody's playing with me. It's cool though. All right. I only have a few more minutes with you guys this morning anyway, because I do have to run off and get some work done today. I'm working today. All right. So I hope that makes sense. All right. Look at it. What are we going to do? Right? You need to reach out to the people who we vote into office, and you need to tell them your expectations. Hey, good luck, right? Don't forget your heart. Don't forget your mind. Don't forget your integrity while you're there. This is what we expect of you. Okay. And I listed those lies, the dates of the lies. Biden said his son died in Iraq, 11/1/22. That's misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation. Did you guys stifle his free speech? All right. Then Biden said that he was arrested as a youth for protecting civil rights. I forgot to tell you guys that one. On January 11th, 2022, Biden said that he was arrested as a youth for protecting civil rights. Well, he sure got pissed off about it when I was standing up for my civil rights. I got arrested standing up for civil rights. You saw it on the live stream. Hundreds of thousands of people saw it, at least. I got arrested standing up for civil rights. And then you dropped the case and dropped all the charges, and you watched the video and realized how illegal that arrest was. Don't worry. I've been talking to a lawyer. I got it coming for you. He said it was a joke. He's like, this is only worth tens of thousands of dollars. He's like, I do deals worth millions of dollars. And I was like, oh, you think it's worth tens of thousands? And he's like, oh, yeah, you can do it yourself. It's easy. He goes, go start a big company, come back and give me a call. Anyway, yeah, they're going to get it. So Biden lied. He said he was arrested as a youth for protecting civil rights. He said that on January 11th, 2022. Liar. Said his son died in Iraq on 11/1/22. Liar. He died of cancer. He said gas is less expensive now than when he took office on 10/27/22. Liar. All right. This is all misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. That's what this is. This is all bad information. And it's coming from the president. And the Department of Homeland Security is not blocking that free speech, but they're blocking true statements that support another political party. And you want to know why we, the people, are so pissed off? Why are we pissed off? because you treat us like this and you think we don't know and you think we can't do anything about it. We're going to hold you accountable. You'll see. You're going to get held accountable by your countrymen or by your God. You'll see. You'll see. All right. Biden also lied, and he said the gun manufacturers are the only industry in the country with lawsuit immunity. Okay. It's still buzzing, right? I wonder if it's like, who has my number? Who even has my number? It's like really only my friends, and my friends who watch a live stream wouldn't keep calling me during a live stream. So somebody's making some kind of effort to distract or deter or whatever. Anyway, we're almost done. I got all the information out before they were able to start doing this. Who knows if this video is going to get taken down, if this video is going to get suppressed, either algorithmically, right? The algorithm will slow down the rate at which the video is shared. Who knows what's going to happen? But the word's out. There it is. I know. What is the difference between misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation? We have to go and ask, what did they call it? Let me give you the exact quote. The Disinformation Governance Board. Google it. Disinformation Governance Board. They had a whole board. There must be a document defining the differences between those statements. Damn. And Afghanistan was a mess. There's $1.1 billion that the United States gave to the Taliban that cannot be accounted for by internal agency. Look it up. And look up SIGAR. SIGAR. It's like the special inspector general for Afghanistan reconstruction. SIGAR, something like that. It stands for something like that. SIGAR. And the inspector general's report says none of the government agencies will give him any information on where the $1 billion is that we gave the Taliban. And you might think back to Biden's dad, Obama, who gave $1 billion in cash on a pallet to Iran. Right? So, like, what's up with giving the Taliban and the Iranians $1 billion? You think we're not going to vote you out and hold you accountable? You're fucking crazy. This is America. How dare you? Sorry, pardon my language, but just how dare you think you can do this to Americans without being held accountable? It's coming. It's coming. But first, I need everybody to vote, right? You got to vote. You got to get the word out. Red. Red wave's coming. Get your surfboard, your boogie board, get your bathing suit on, whatever you got. Meet me at the beach. The red wave's coming. We're all going to win. Okay, we're going to win. We're going to vote them out. The corrupt, appointed and elected officials will be held accountable either by their countrymen or eventually by their God. And until then, all we can do is just really get the word out and vote. If you have a marker, no, I mean Afghanistan. I don't mean Iraq. I mean Afghanistan. Now, Biden did mix up the war in Ukraine with the war in Iraq. That's another thing. Okay. But I wasn't going to go there right now. What I want you to do is take a paint marker and write a message on your car or your truck window. It could just say FJB. It could say vote red, impeach Biden. It could say, you must vote. It could say, freedom needs your vote. It could say 1776. It could say X-ray vision on YouTube, right? It could say anything, but mark up your vehicle for these next couple of days leading up to the election, just to try to urge that one or two, 3, 4 people, whoever it is who maybe sit home, maybe they don't believe in voting, maybe they've lost faith in the election, tell them they must vote. We need them. You must vote in person. So I just really want you guys to do everything you can to try to get the vote out. Try to educate people about what's happening here in our country with this administration. And just tell them how much better we can do. Tell them how much better we can do as Americans and how we're going to do that by voting in Republican candidates. Okay? We're going to vote them all out. Does this make sense? Okay. Oh, look right here. It says Telescope. Says he's going to find me. He said that a few times. That guy threatens me a lot. I don't even know who he is. I guess there's just like people who have channels who like to threaten me and come for me. I'll tell you what, bitch, Missouri is an open carry state and it's a stand your ground state. So if you're going to threaten me multiple times on my channel and say you're going to come find me, pack your fucking lunch. If you're going to whip my ass, you're going to be at it for a while. You ought to bring reinforcements. You will not win. And I'm not at all afraid of you. You're just a little online pussy. Okay? So good luck. Do what you need to do. Well, what's the John Wayne quote? Man ought to do what he thinks is best. So we're going to keep it friendly, keep it respectful, but any security incidents will not be tolerated. I'll tell you right now, I'm not here to play like little online fluff games. I'm here to help make my country better. I'm here to get freedom back for Americans. I'm here to restore the integrity of the American experiment. I'm here for freedom. I'm not here to play little fuck games. All right, but if you want to play games with me, you call me Milton Bradley. Pack your lunch. All right. All right. I love you guys. I just had to put that little bitch in his place. Everybody knows now what's up. And these guys have been threatening me for months, right? They followed me across multiple state lines. I'm not at all afraid of them. Like, it's a joke that they spend their time having a channel like about me. I already have a channel about me and freedom, but you guys want to do it too, and you think it scares me? Oh, bring your teddy bear. All right, I'll sign it for you. Telescope. All right, guys, I love you. I hope you have a great day. Please share this message. Please get the word out. Please let people know how corrupt the Biden administration has been. Please tell them about the misinformation, disinformation, and lies that the Biden administration and President Biden himself have been putting out to the American public, right? Like how he used to drive a tractor trailer, how he got arrested for civil rights, how his son died in Iraq, and how gun manufacturers are the only industry in the country that can be sued, and how gas was less expensive now than it was when he took office. So all lies. I gave you the dates of the lies. We got to do something, guys. We got to stand up right now. It's the only thing that we can do. So we have to stand up for our freedom. If you don't, it'll be taken from you, just like it has been taken from people in so many different countries around the world. It feels like East Germany when my speech is being limited like this. Okay? Pretty good. What do you think? Good video today? Did you guys enjoy it? I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wanted to do some research and then try to bring you some really accurate information. Again, you can Google all this. It comes from Republican Congressman James Comer from the 1st District of Kentucky. You liked it. Cool. All right. So check it out. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this as long as I'm alive. And if I'm not alive, it's because they killed me. All right. Or disappeared me. I will continue to come back. I'm not suicidal. I want to be in this game and I want to support American freedom. So if I disappear, it's because they whacked me. All right. I'll just put it out there right now. That's the word, guys. So if you can, smash the like button, share the video, screen record the video and put it out on the different channels. I don't care at all. Just share it everywhere you can. Get the word out. Bring people to this channel because my subscribers are going down, not up. And I feel like I'm putting out good information. So I don't know. Do what you can to support me. I'm doing what I can to support you. I love you. If you want to convoy with me, send me an email, convoyxray@gmail.com. Send me an email at convoyxray@gmail.com, and we can leave from Southeast Missouri, from the corner of Southeast Missouri together. And we could all ride with, a tractor trailer with 12 flags down the back, and the Beast is going to be there, and Bruce Levings is coming with us. So we're going to have a great team in our little convoy. And if you want to ride with us, awesome. Again, I talked to Moni yesterday. Everything is locked in for the convoy. I talked to Joe Nagy. Joe, I saw you in the chat, man. Lots of respect. You guys should know. And in fact, I want everybody to help me give a round of applause and put a chat to thank Joe Nagy. Joe Nagy has spent a lot of his own money and a lot of his time, and he's bringing his own equipment to make this convoy work in Branson, the Convoy of Honor. All right, it's going to be a multi-day event, but the convoy happens on the 9th. Thank you so much for subscribing. Let's give a huge shout out to Joe Nagy. He spent a lot of money helping to get equipment and food and toilets. He got the porta potties for us. So if you end up going to the bathroom when you're there at the convoy, you need to thank Joe. Joe is busting his ass. He's a freedom trucker. His truck was in the Kid Rock music video. He was on the People's Convoy. His son, Jesse Nagy, is an awesome guy. Huge shout out to the Nagy family. Jesse's actually going to be in a helicopter, I think, during the convoy. So if you stream us both, he'll be in the helicopter and I'll be in the front vehicle. And it should look pretty cool, Carol, huge shout out to Carol Nagy, who helps on the channel, and to Norma, who makes amazing cookies. So the whole Nagy family are amazing people. They're farmers and ranchers, and they've been standing up for freedom for a long time. They've been on the convoy. They volunteer their time and their money, and they're just really good people. So huge shout out to Joe and the Nagy family. Okay? That needs to be done. Good. All right, guys, so much. Remember, read your Constitution. Read your Constitution. Know what's okay and what's not okay, right? Follow your moral compass and never be afraid to stand up for what's right in the face of what's wrong. All right, I love you. See you later, visionaries.